Yeah, good morning, ma'am. Rishi calling from CC.
ईमेल आईडी याद नहीं है अभी ना, मोबाइल नंबर याद नहीं है। बस आप सेंड करो ईमेल, राइट?
दुनिया की ओर कि जहां सब लोग खुशहाली से रहे, और ऐसा कहते हैं कि लहरों से डरकर नौका पार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की हार नहीं होती। तो हम लोग कोशिश कर रहे हैं एक नए दुनिया के निर्माण की, जहां सब लोग अच्छे रहे, और ऑल पार्टनर्स विथ हेल्प ऑफ ऑल पार्टनर्स विल बी राइजिंग हाई। तो हम लोग यहाँ मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ श्रेय सहज को जो इवेंट पार्टनर है, और बैंकर्स को जिन्होंने स्पॉन्सर किया है, स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, यूनियन बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, इलाहाबाद बैंक एंड बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा। जो सब लोग जमा हुए हैं, दैट इज कैटलाइजिंग फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन थ्रू सीएससी। सीएससी के थ्रू हम लोग कैसे फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन करें? महाराष्ट्र में we have done good job, in some other states also we are doing good job. So we want to replicate the scalable model to UP also. और यूपी की तो आबादी 20 करोड़ तकरीबन आबादी है, and there is a lot of opportunity to all of you. So everyone in this room is different, and you have chosen a different path, and they say that the woods are हम लोग एक प्रयास कर रहे हैं कि जो एक अच्छे इसकी तरफ बढ़े। जैसे मैंने पहले भी कहा कि लहरों से डरकर नौका पार नहीं होती, कोशिश करने वालों की हार नहीं होती। हम लोग एक कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि एक अच्छी जिंदगी सबको दे, जो पिछड़ा हुआ है, जो बॉटम ऑफ पिरामिड में लोग हैं, उनके लिए एक अच्छी जिंदगी देने के लिए हम लोग प्रयास कर रहे हैं। तो द premier role or the critical role is of CSCs and you people, particularly SCAs, bankers, all stakeholders have important role to play in this part. Bankers के लिए तो
Ma'am? Yeah, please come.
I request dignitaries to occupy seats on the dais. leadership in the field of information technology. Out of many initiatives, 26 services of 8 government departments were launched in state of UP. So I welcome him. And our next guest, rather his host, Dinesh Tyagi sir. Under his leadership, he is the visionary man actually, and because he is a visionary and he gives vision and he provides leadership to the individuals. And he belongs to the Information Technology Department, and he provides support to CSC, SPV as well as to all us. So he is important man for the her able leadership. She has been able to welcome ma'am. And next is Sangeeta Mehra ji. She is in NABARD, AGM NABARD, and NABARD is providing active support to CSC movement. So I welcome you also, ma'am. So I request now to welcome the guests. First is Jivesh Nandan sir. So I welcome Urvashi. I ask Urvashi to welcome sir. Then Urvashi to welcome Sandekar ji. Roshan ma'am. And Sangeeta ji. This function is like
Shri Praveen Chandekar, Additional Director, Department of Information Technology, the General Manager, State Bank of India, Jan, and Sangeeta Mehra from LIC. The participants, both the SCAs, the 3 SCAs, which are the CMS, SHE, and Vantex, some of the VLE जो कुछ VLE यहाँ आए हैं उन सबका स्वागत है। कॉमन सर्विस सेंटर स्कीम कहा जाए तो उत्तर प्रदेश एक्चुअली पायनियर है, the first state where actually something of that nature started, and these centers in Sitapur district started by a young dynamic officer called Amod were called Lokwani centers. They were actually started, उन सबका शुरुआत हुआ था स्पेसिफिक पर्पस के लिए, तो वो पब्लिक डिफेंस रिड्रेसल सिस्टम के थ्रू शुरू हुआ था। इसी तरह इस देश में जब कॉमन सर्विस सेक्टर स्कीम का डिजाइन किया गया तो 15,000 सेंटर थे। 15,000 में कुछ अच्छे सेंटर केरला, सम सेंटर हिमाचल प्रदेश, और कुछ सेंटर्स पब्लिक प्राइवेट में थे। कॉन्विस्की एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जो काफ़ी सेंटर चलाती थी। उन सब सेंटर्स को देख करके, उन सेंटर्स को समझ करके, उन सब की लर्निंग करने के बाद कॉमन सर्विस सेंटर स्कीम का डिज़ाइन किया गया। जब डिज़ाइन हुआ तो काफ़ी लोगों ने क्वेश्चन किए शुरुआत में कि ये फ्रंट एंड इतने देश में इतने स्केल पर क्यों लगाया जा रहा है जबकि बैक एंड में कुछ नहीं है। एक्चुअल में बैक एंड में उस समय बहुत कम सर्विसेज थी, एंड दिस आर्गुमेंट ऑफ बैक एंड वाज टू सम एक्सटेंट कुछ जस्टिफाइड भी था। लेकिन जब डिस्कशंस हुए इस गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया लेवल पे तो ये देखा गया कि इस देश में हमें 50 साल लगे उस बैक एंड को कंप्यूटराइज और डिजिटाइज करने में। अगर हम उसी तरह से करेंगे तो बैक एंड भी अनदर 50 साल लगेगा, बिकॉज ये बैक एंड और G2C डिलीवरी इज अ वेरी कम्प्लेक्स इशू। इतना आसान नहीं है, इतना सिंपल नहीं है। देयर आर मेनी स्टेक होल्डर्स, और उन सबको एक्साइट करके फ्रेमवर्क में लाना एज इटसेल्फ अ बिग चैलेंज। तो उस समय ये भी सोचा गया कि जो गांव में जो इंसान रहता है, जो गांव में जो आदमी रहते हैं, उन्हें सिर्फ सरकारी सेवाएं नहीं चाहिए, उन्हें सरकार के अलावा बहुत सारी सेवाएं चाहिए। इनफैक्ट उस सर्वे के अंदर पता लगा, जब सर्वे किया गया था तो पता लगा कि एक्चुअली 70 to 80% जो गांव वाली की रिक्वायरमेंट है वो नॉन गवर्नमेंट सर्विसेज की है, B2C की है, जिसको B2C बोलते हैं। तो ओनली 20% इज व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड फ्रॉम गवर्नमेंट सर्विस। और ये भी देखा गया कि अगर इसको पूरा बिजनेस मॉडल डिजाइन किया जाए तो जो सरकारी सेवाएं हैं उनसे एक्चुअली में पैसा नहीं आएगा, देयर हार्डली एनीथिंग। लेकिन सरकारी सेवाओं से फुटफॉल्स आता है, फुटफॉल एनहांस होगा, लोग आएंगे, विल बी एबल टू जनरेट बिजनेस फॉर देम। एंड इन दैट कॉम्प्लेक्स इशू लॉट ऑफ स्टेक होल्डर, काफी स्टेक प्राइवेट पार्टीज थी, इंटरमीडिएट क्यों ला रही, गवर्नमेंट अपने डिपार्टमेंट से सेटअप कर सकती है नहीं। एग्जाम्पल्स थे इस देश में, तमिलनाडु वो द फर्स्ट स्टेट इन द कंट्री जिसने पंचायत में कंप्यूटराइजेशन किया, हर पंचायत में कंप्यूटर लगाया। एंड देन ऑफ कोर्स गुजरात ने किया, कुछ और स्टेट ने भी ट्राई किया था। एंड आइडिया यही था कि दोज कंप्यूटर सेंटर्स जो कि पंचायत में लगे हैं वो फ्रंट एंड का काम करेंगे। बट ऑल सिंसियरिटी एंड ऑल द इनिशिएटिव ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट, उसमें लिमिटेशंस होता है। एंड एक्चुअली तमिलनाडु में वही लिमिटेशन रहा। हम लोगों ने जब तमिलनाडु में पंचायत में सेंटर देखे तो पता लगा कि वो कंप्यूटर ही नहीं खोला गया, कंप्यूटर नहीं खोला गया, कहीं पर दूसरे इश्यूज थे, कहीं पर उसमें इंसेंटिव नहीं था। सो एक्चुअली तमिलनाडु डिस्पाइट डूइंग ए पंचायत कंप्यूटराइजेशन प्रोग्राम, बाद में उन्होंने कॉमन सर्विस सेंटर करा। इसीलिए इंटरमीडिएट की जरूरत पड़ी। ये जरूरी था कि इंटरमीडिएट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज इंटरमीडिएट विल हेल्प इन दी सस्टेनेबिलिटी ऑफ द मॉडल। जब इंटरमीडिएट को लाना था तो इंटरमीडिएट को कैसे एक्साइट किया जाए। ठीक है, G2C इज नॉट एन एक्साइटमेंट, और गांव में इनकम जनरेशन itself इज अ बिग चैलेंज। तो ये सारे देश में फिर काफी इंटरमीडिएट से बातें की गई, उन सबको एक्साइट किया गया। एंड फॉर्चुनेटली उस वक्त में C.K. प्रहलाद की बुक आई थी कॉल वैल्यू एट द बॉटम ऑफ द पिरामिड, वो उसी वक्त आई थी जब CSC शुरू हुआ था। So that became an argument that those who want to really exploit and enhance their business, the bottom of the pyramid is the key for success. तो इसी तरह से हम लोग, I remember हमने शायद सारे देश में 80 वर्कशॉप ऑर्गेनाइज की होंगी CSC को बताने में, समझाने में। Partly a dream, we were actually selling a dream to the businessman कि ये बिजनेस करोगे तो आपको ग्रोथ होगा। But it was very clearly said. In fact, काफी वर्कशॉप जो आई रिमेंबर यूपी में जब हमने 2 यूपी में भी did 2, जो हमने काफी लोगों ने कहा था कि आप NGOs को बुलाइए, तो बेसिकली meant for business. So those who want to do charity do not want to be in this space, and that is how the whole model was designed. आपको आश्चर्य होगा, fortunately in this country, in fact some of the states abroad, when I went to US and talked about CSC, they were laughing. Actually, they said, God bless you if you can set up 1 lakh centers across the country in equitable manner in such a defined time frame. It was a challenge. It was a very great challenge because such a large-scale PPP framework project has never been implemented in this country. And fortunately for us, when we started this project, and fortunately for the visionary in DIT, Mr. Chandrasekhar Nanaholt, under whose leadership the program started, there was not a single state in the country where there was no private bidder. Even in Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, or the J&K, there was a bidder available. That means there was a private sector guy who was willing to take initiative and exploit this business potential. That is the premise of CSC. लेकिन अभी CSC, it has grown for 4 years. It has actually grown. It has a lot of learning. Some dreams which were thought to be had not come true. Some private player who was very good have actually vanished, but that is part of the story because that actually happened. Some of the organizations like COMET who started the first CSC movement in Karnataka, and they were telecenters, which was a big story, and the secretary there got a PM's award largely for that movement. And the company disappeared. They also bid for UP and they disappeared. The company now closed. And 3i Infotech, which was actually a large organization, some of the best CSCs in this country were set up at 3i Infotech. And we actually taken almost all VIPs and shown the common service center in Bhonsey, close to Delhi, and showed 3i Infotech CSC. But change in guard in the 3i, in the ICICI at that time, from Kamath to the lady, changed the whole scenario, and 3i Infotech closed all the shops. These were some setbacks, but they were great learnings. They were all setbacks and great learnings. Today, CSC is a stable movement. See, I always talk about the CSC is not a scheme, it's not a program. Actually, it's a movement. It's a movement in the sense it's enabling people to demand something, and it's actually not a supply driven, it's a demand driven. And that's how service deliver की जा सकती हैं. तो सरकार से ये कहेगा कि मैं आपके ऑफिस नहीं जाऊंगा, आप मुझे यही सर्विस दीजिए. And actually that is now happening. It has taken 4 years, but it is actually happening now. Most of the state government in the country are now actually using CSC for delivery services. That means the front end is very essential. अभी तक ज़्यादा क्यों नहीं हुआ उसके कारण है कुछ गलतियाँ as I said कुछ learnings हमारी हैं कुछ problems SCAs की हैं those who got into the business got into the wrong premise. अगर जिस तरह प्लान किया गया था अगर 3,304 रुपए पर CSC per month के revenue support और close by bidding आती तो it would have been a great success story. But there was aggressiveness for people to capture this market, and they bid for zero bidding and negative bidding. Got started और उन्होंने भी zero से bidding किया. But there was no out. Within transparent bidding process, you can't up to a point define the bidding parameters. It was a very simple scheme designed for simple formulation and enabling, but it has this complexity. That is the story. That's how the CSC evolution took place. But see, there are very good stories of common service centers, and there are some which are still learnings, and there are some which are not as good as we anticipated to be. So there are all kind of shades in the CSC framework. Today, as we claim, there are 98,000 across the country, and with some integration happening around, we will touch about 140,000, close to that number. ये भी डिसाइड हो गया है कि फ्रंट एंड सिर्फ एक ही होना चाहिए. See, in fact, that way, I was in Rajasthan the other day when the collectors conference, the chief secretary was called, and we were discussing financial inclusion in UID enrollment. And there also, Rajasthan is a very good state. बहुत अच्छी है. उन्होंने एक सरकारी ऑर्डर निकाला है कि कोई भी डिपार्टमेंट सरकार का अपना फ्रंट एंड नहीं बनाएगा. There are two states in the country which has a huge recognition of CSC, Rajasthan and Jharkhand, and of course third the Maharashtra, which is recently taken up. And Rajasthan is now saying all the common service centers will become business correspondent. One of the story for financial inclusion is when we went, जब हम finance ministry में गए तो finance ministry has done a lot of bidding process. See, देश में 1 लाख BC हैं जो कि बैंकों ने हमें बताया. 1 लाख BC under the RBI various guidelines already there. But the finance ministry realized that, see, this BC model as a standalone model is not a sustainable model. और इसीलिए वो फाइनेंस सेक्रेटरी ने कहा, see, फाइनेंस सेक्रेटरी उस समय उनको पता था कॉमन सर्विस सेंटर का, so he knew about it. But the limitation of कि कुछ जगह कॉमन सर्विस सेंटर नहीं है, they wanted to understand that. And when we discussed with them, they said common service center is the best alternative for business correspondent. And it is now, therefore, we signed agreement with all 26 banks. The regional rural banks are asking us to sign. We are saying 180, we can't sign agreement because it's impossible for such a small organization to monitor 180. Even 26 is very difficult. So regional rural bank is saying that our sponsor bank का जो agreement है उसी को apply कीजिए. We cannot sign with RRBs. But today, general, saying there is general agreement that common service center, all common service center without exception should become a business correspondent. What will the business correspondent do? Business correspondent in initial terminology does only the deposit and withdrawal. That is how business correspondent is designed. But there is something called a business facilitator. जो कि business correspondent, business facilitator. जो हमारे अभी जो common service centers हैं, करीब 4,000 हैं, जो कि अभी BC का काम कर रहे हैं. BC और financial inclusion का काम कर रहे हैं, जिसमें कुछ insurance policy बेचते हैं. Out of 198,000, 4,000 centers हैं जो ये काम करते हैं. And the story is very good. जो really यहाँ है, they can actually, we can share with you. In Madhya Pradesh, the 400 centers run by CSC does a turnover of 250 crores in a year, only through business correspondent. That the amount of money they generate is phenomenal. It's been actually, and some of the common service centers are only doing business correspondent job. So business correspondent and then the business facilitator. Those who grow and mature will become a business facilitator. The amount of revenue जो आप generate कर पाएंगे business facilitator में वो business correspondent से ज़्यादा होगा. Because business facilitator does loan. See, he can do the preliminary part of loan collection, documents, finding of document, verification of deeds. All that work which the bank done through a third party will get done through a bank. अभी भी दूसरे third party से कराता है. The verification of documents, etc., bank normally get through a third party. At least the new private sector bank, third party se karate hain. So that role you will get, and they pay a fairly good amount of commission for this. And also for NPA recovery, they pay a fairly good amount of commission. The only common service center which is doing business facilitator job is J&K Bank. See, in J&K we have some of the best common service centers exist in J&K. See, story is not known to many, but we have gone and seen a very vibrant. Fortunately for us, J&K Bank becomes the SCA there. And since J&K Bank was the SCA, the first service they started was बैंकिंग सर्विसेज, और वो सब काम कराता है, बैंकिंग कॉरस्पॉन्डेंट का और बैंकिंग फैसिलिटेटर का, बीएफ का, दोनों काम कराता है. इसलिए बैंकिंग कॉरस्पॉन्डेंट and therefore J&K does not have any G2C, but they are very vibrant common service centers. So the point which I want to drive and tell you, काफी लोग ये कहते हैं कि G2C नहीं है तो मैं कॉमन सर्विस सेंटर नहीं चला सकता, कुछ SCA का परसेप्शन है. देखिए ये स्कीम प्राइवेट सेक्टर पटवारी बनाने के लिए नहीं बनाई गई. ये स्कीम बनाई गई है टू डिलीवर सर्विस टू सिटीजन. अगर किसी के दिन में ये हो कि मैं प्राइवेट सेक्टर लेके सरकार की दुकान खोल लूंगा, ये दिस स्कीम इज नॉट फॉर दैट. दैट्स व्हाई G2C इज नॉट अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्राइटेरिया फॉर डूइंग बिजनेस. एज आई सेड, G2C से पैसे नहीं आएंगे, G2C सिर्फ फुटबॉल आता है. तो G2C कैन नॉट बी एन आर्गुमेंट फॉर सेटिंग अ कॉमन सर्विस सेंटर. कॉमन सर्विस सेंटर्स आर बेसिकली a business proposition and a service delivery model for citizen. You meet all requirement. कुछ सर्विसेज तो बहुत अच्छी हैं जिनसे ज्यादा इनकम होती है. एजुकेशन इज वन. टुडे इन दिस कंट्री every person is willing to pay for education, and I have seen people who started very low have turnover of 1 crore only on education. Turnover of 1 crore education. So the SCA has to learn. See, we share all this with some good SCA, what is doing with other SCAs. See, this is a learning for all SCAs to focus on. Let them try in putting this argument across that G2C nahi hai. G2C is evolution. It is not revolution. It is not an end of the day. Nobody in this country can commit you that a so and so date G2C will come. It's an evolutionary process. It will have its own pace, and it is very difficult to change the pace. So that's a fact of life. So wo jo CSC has to generate business, and in that generating business correspondent plays a very critical role. It's actually catalytic in that sense, because it can actually help you in trying and getting into the frame of mind. But the point is that all 100,000 has to come. See, the new government of India scheme of direct cash transfer has also evolved in the same fashion, and they also realized उसी के चक्कर में हम लोग का BC हुआ था. The direct cash transfer will take place only BC. There will be a permanent center. There is no fly-by-night operator. Otherwise, the large models which have been trying, Fino's model or some other models of handheld devices, individual going to places, all has its own limitations. I'm not saying bad, but the smart card model. Ultimately, all wisdom lies the kiosk model. A permanent center is the best BC model. I can quote from State Bank, and we are saying we're not doing charity for banks. See, some of the banker friends should realize that it's a business for them. These are the comments of the State Bank. State Bank said in the first conference which was organized in Delhi, the State Bank CGM said, CSC and business correspondent is a business for us. He said in the first year we had 1,000 crore business. In the second year we had 5,000, and this year we're going to 12,000 crore. He said there has been no growth of that nature in any business in the bank. So they're not doing charity to us. They're actually looking at common service center as a business proposition. That is a fact. So therefore, whether it's a bank has to change their mindset. The second is in technology, they're now seeing kiosk model is the best way to do in technology rather than doing any other. All others have complications. That's why all of the banks have been told to set up this. Bank of India, Dena Bank and State Bank already have a kiosk model technology. All of the banks have been asked to adopt the technology, which is by end of the month, hopefully all of them will get the technology framework ready. So therefore, kiosk model, which is a common service center, for us, will become actually the focal point for every CSC to become a business corporate. So that's all our vision. Our vision is, it is a struggle. It is not going to be easy. See, it is not easy because banks has also changed their mindset. The senior level management of the bank is okay, but the grassroots level, the branch manager and other level still have to change their mindset. They never realize this in that format. It's still difficult for them to understand the nuances of how a kiosk model will work for them. But it's our game. See, we are all working very hard. See, in common service, in the CSC SPV, we have now taken a few bankers with us. We have a team only focusing on BC because we realize a common service center bread and butter will come from this. The direct cash transfer, which is going to be 3 lakh crores, it will actually, if you average it out, it will be 3 crore business for every CSC, only in direct transfer thing. In addition, forget about anything else. So we need to focus, that's why our focus is now on CSC as business correspondent. And then of course, business facilitator. We'll tell you the stories of business facilitator, how it is going to be really so vibrant. And it meets the aspirations of citizen. जो गांव वाला है उसको कहीं जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, परेशानी की जरूरत नहीं है, all that game. This is how the other product and services of financial inclusion, either to BC, we are becoming aggregator for PFRD as the CSC SPV. So we will launch a national pension scheme as the national pension scheme. The pension is more complicated than banking, more complicated, more challenging, but pension is more sustainable. Because pension will come for 10 years of Fifari, the LIC, and we're only negotiating the best deal with them. Once we get able to close the best deal, we can launch insurance product. We also try and talk to Summit. So we have insurance, pension, and banking. And you can change the face of the nation if you can allow a citizen to get all citizens across the country with these products. See, the poor man, he doesn't have insurance. When his health gets down, when he becomes old, he has no pension. I retire, I get pension. But what about a villager or a farmer? When he retires, what does he get? If somebody gets sick in his house, his all wealth disappears. So insurance, pension, and banking are game changer for this country. For the citizen perspective, and also for the CSC scheme, because आपके लिए बहुत बड़ा business है. But we need to focus our energy, our strength, and be aggressive in doing it. It's not going to be easy. The road is difficult, and road is far more challenging. It needs a lot of effort. Actually, it needs a lot of marketing effort. You need to all grow. We also think that entrepreneurship development of the VLE is very important. It is not any other C. See, it's a business, so you must understand business in its own perspective. It is not government scheme, it's a business. And therefore, हमारी जो request है वो VLEs को, जो VLEs भाई हैं, कि आपको business की तरह ही समझना पड़ेगा. ये मत समझिए कि सरकारी scheme है, सरकारी benefit होंगे, वो नहीं है. That's only a facilitator, that's not an end of the game. That will come to you in any case over a period of time. But yeah, this is a business, and the opportunities are huge. And we want to create enterprise. See, the whole idea is to create an enterprise in rural India. Will create employment opportunities. In Akshay Center in Kerala, in every center there are 5 computers, there are 7 people who are employed. And that's the dream. You should actually do similar to that. You should have a large network. And fortunately, the new scheme called National Optical Fiber Network is now creating a digital knowledge network, which will have large computers, connectivity, and a solar panel, and set up in Panchayat. They will all come to CSC. See, we have been arguing that the best model is to CSC. Otherwise, there are already parallel claims saying that नहीं हम चलाएंगे, पंचायत चलाएगी. See, हम लोग कह रहे हैं कि आप common service center को ही ये दे दीजिए. So, in principle, fortunately, we have been able to put that point across, and it has been generally agreed. The common service center will help in implementation of national optical fiber network in the pilot states in Andhra Pradesh, Tripura, and Rajasthan, and then roll out across it. 25,000 crore is being spent for laying the pipeline, and therefore huge demand of what this. The dream is, I said, our vision, we are now able to fulfill most of what we are actually conceived at that time. The last but least before we close is another opportunity called the UID. The UID has appointed CSCSP as the registrar for UID, and they also done in the same formulation. They say हम लोगों को permanent UID station चाहिए. ये temporary वाला job जो है appoint किया और लेके चला गया और भाग गया, आधे लोग रह गए, ये नहीं चलेगा. So Dr. Sharma, Mr. Sharma, who is the DG UID head, he also realized that UID actual dream is common service center. See, we have been able to sell, so therefore every UID center will become a permanent center. We started this exercise, we are starting some 600 during this month as enrollment centers and do it. Permanent का मतलब क्या है? Permanent का होगा, this is permanent in perpetuity. So what you will do is, जिनका नहीं हुआ उनका enrollment करेंगे, उनके लिए आपको पैसे मिलेंगे. जो हो गया है उसको अपना चेंज करना है, डेट ऑफ बर्थ चेंज करना है, कैटेगरी चेंज करना है, फादर का नेम लेट करना है, कोई हो गया, अमेंडमेंट, उसके लिए पैसे मिलेंगे. That's called updation. So you want to update your database or demographic updating, that can change. जो बच्चे 5 साल से पहले एनरोल हुए हैं उनका बायोमेट्रिक दोबारा करना पड़ेगा और 15 साल के बाद दोबारा करना पड़ेगा. So every stage you get paid, and the only way to address this is the common service center scheme. There is no other way better than common services. So see, with CSC as a BC, as a BF, selling insurance product and services and pension product and services, and doing direct cash transfer for Government of India, 3 lakh crore, and doing it, लोगों ने अपने आप को जागृत नहीं किया, aggressively pursue नहीं किया, and to the SCAs here, we need to really get into our sleeves and now try and aggressively pursue the whole agenda and complete this. See, एक जो परेशानी जो सब लोग कहते हैं कि हम लोग जो नंबर दिखाते हैं वो कम है, वो ठीक से नहीं है, विजिबिलिटी नहीं है, कुछ में बंद हो जाता है, कुछ खुलता नहीं है. These has to be taken care of by the SCAs. SCAs need to really actively pursue and bring this agenda forward. We need, and there has to be uniformly across. सरकार कुछ सेंटर खुले हैं, कुछ सेंटर बंद है, इसमें काम नहीं कर सकती. सारे खुले होंगे तभी होगा और सारे इक्विटेबल होंगे. ये नहीं कि एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट में तो अच्छा हो गया, श्रेय शहर के सेंटर अच्छे हैं, वानटेक के अच्छे नहीं है, फिर काम नहीं होगा, फिर कॉमन सर्विस सेंटर नहीं होगा. कॉमन सर्विस सेंटर स्कीम सरकार तभी अडॉप्ट करेगी जब सारे के सारे सेंटर सभी यूनिफॉर्मली अक्रॉस द कंट्री हैज टू बी इन दैट फॉर्मेट, बिकॉज सरकार कैन नॉट डू पार्ट जॉब मैनुअली एंड पार्ट डू थ्रू इलेक्ट्रॉनिकली. There have been, as I said, this is the second workshop on financial inclusion. We've done one in Delhi और हम 2 तारीख को झारखंड में कर रहे हैं और एक नॉर्थ ईस्ट में कर रहे हैं. Our agenda is to take financial inclusion across. The ministry is agreeing. Ministry of Financial Services, Department of Financial Services, उनको पता है, उन्होंने agreement sign किया. They are pursuing and monitoring it. We are not talking state level. State level bankers need to appreciate, understand why this. As I said, this is a business for them. And then, of course, we have to take it to the ARGs, SCAs, and BC to VLEs to understand the full game. I wish, see, we have translated the book from English to Hindi for the purpose of this workshop. You can take the book. It's got some parameters defined. We're trying to work out something on this or more. And our people are here. हमारे लोग कुछ यहाँ हैं, कुछ बैंक वाले भी हमने recruit किए हुए हैं. So if you have any query, any support, we're willing to support. But let's take it a mission. And all the commons, without exception, whether they're urban or rural, all the common service centers should actually become BC. And then, of course, our dream of creating UID permanent center. Thank you very much.
I'm sure कि जैसे बोलते हैं कि नन्ही चीटी दाना लेकर चढ़ती है, 100 बार फिसलती है, फिर भी कोशिश.
Secretary, AIT UP, Dr. Dinesh Reddy, DA, SPV, Dr. Roshan, DM, Gonda, the Gupta from SBI, and Sangeeta Arora from Veda House. Good morning, everybody. Most of the things which has been told was covered by Dr. Dinesh Reddy because he is a visionary for this project. He has been moving since long time. The Registrar Office has taken it further, and it was made. Order was issued by the Registrar Office, and the birth certificate of any person can be issued from any Talati's office or village panchayat, or hospital, and district outlets. But this order was issued to everybody, but लोगों को पता नहीं था. People used to go again to the same village to get the birth certificate. So awareness creation was major. Even the government officials were not aware. We have been going to due to the connectivity problem in other districts and the taluk level. And these people, government officials were also not. The citizens again far away from that information. So this type of awareness workshop for the financial inclusion is essential. I think it is the 4 to 5 is already planned. So every state, the financial inclusion, the right stakeholder has to be called in. So more awareness creation can be created on financial inclusion. If you take the CSC, as of today, it is a part of any GP program from a national level. Nearly 99,000 CSC, which is a target of 1 lakh, has been covered officially and connected, which with the other CSC in the various states, which will come on online, is 1.4 lakhs. It is a target which is likely to come very soon. Now, if you take the transaction of the CSC, it is in 1.6 crore, and with the it is only for to 21 CSC, 21 SCS. And if you take the average transaction per CSC is 64 rupees, and total worth of transaction is nearly 600 crore. This is without the financial inclusion. This is only the B2C services and the few of such G2C services which is physical, not online. Now, if you take this, a lot of services is being added. The government is making efforts. So this financial business correspondence is one of the initiatives. Dr. Jaggi in just in the CCSV, he has taken a lot of initiatives recently. One of them was the banking sector, more self-sustaining CSC. The banking correspondence and the financial inclusion. This is the mandate also of the government of India, which has been going on from 2006 and onwards. lot of efforts have been made, the collections of the data, and which is the best model which can be taken up. So in that regard, the CSC, which are there available, the outlet across India, that was taken one of the window where it will reach the people. And people going to the bank, if you take at the village level, people has to spend 8 दिन की दिहाड़ी चली जाती है if you want to go to bank, because there's remote villages. If you see in the urban cities are well connected with a lot of information, lot of infrastructure. You can get the faster services, but at village level it is very difficult. Just recent past, maybe an outreach program what we have under DIT, I have been to Katni, nearby village, to flag off that van. So after this all the flag off van, there were many people just struggling to get single city or debt certificate. People said for 1 month they are not getting, and that was one of the good village of the MP. It is just maybe 15-20 kilometers from Katni, and people are not getting the ration card. If he gets the ration card, he doesn't get the ration. He is not enabled. The Nayak Tahsildar we have requested, they said we do come to the village, hardly. So we don't know the problem. When they come to the urban area, Tahsil level, they don't get access to the relevant officer. They take a lot of time to get the services. Through this, CSC will be one of the more services to citizens without their being lost on that particular day. So in this regard, if you take the UP also, it has a lot number of CSCs, and this only the aggregation has to be taken, as CEO SPV has already indicated. A few of the states have taken some steps towards this to have a single platform like Maharashtra. In similar way, this which has been already been taken up, so that has been a successful model. So this will be replicated through CSC, which can be taken up one of the achievement for sustaining the CSC. With this, with few words, I want to, this awareness workshop will definitely give more insight out to make this program more successful. Thank you very much.
डॉक्टर रोशन जैकब जी को, जिन्होंने चेंज एजेंट इन गोंदा डिस्ट्रिक्ट, so she will tell her story, success story. Thanks.
Shri Tyagi and all the distinguished members on the dais, all of you, thank you for inviting me over for this presentation. We are actually trying to put my DIO from NIC, Gonda, is also present with me here. We'll be just quickly introducing two interventions that we have done through CSCs. Now, we have called it Lokwani centers. As I was talking to Tyagi sir just now, Lokwani is essentially a common service center running under the aegis of the district Lokwani society. So essentially human, and thereby creating a kind of entitlement. Now, the first one is a G2C thing, what we are going to do, the Agriculture Department services. And the second is, you can call it a B2C, it is the LPG gas booking, which is done through the Lokwani centers. The second system has been running for a few years. We launched it in Basti district in 2008. It is still running there successfully, and now in Gonda and a few other districts also. And the Kisan system, the Krishak Information System and Network, the attempt was to get that acronym Kisan rightly, because that will appeal to the farmers. So that was developed in the Rabi season of 2012 in district Gonda, and is running there now. Now, all the importance of agriculture in our economy, that cannot be overemphasized, and I don't need to spend any time on that. Now, the problem with this particular software, then onward to either the private retailer or the district cooperative societies, and thereafter the farmer. So the beneficiary is back, and whatever stock has come is over. So that is the trouble. Again, there is no monitoring system at the administration level, because we don't have the figures. So there is absolutely it's entirely manual basically. There is no software which enables us to monitor. Again, acute shortage of human resource in the agriculture and allied departments, and which again creates ample scope for diversion of seeds and fertilizers. Now, this is just basic, all the stakeholders who are involved in it. I don't think that the different monitoring authorities who can check the kids. Yeah, this is the process flow chart kind of. The farmer will come to the Lokwani Kendra, the common service center. He will give his requirement. I'll show you how the requirement is recorded. That requirement is then uploaded on the portal. and it can be verified by the revenue department, because all the land holding details that the farmer will give, that can be verified by the revenue department. The agriculture department will check online the demand for different types of agriculture that have come from the societies, and thereafter the agriculture department will allot, and that is